Well, here I go again. I'm going to disassemble this radio because there's for sure another place for a light to go in behind here. And after convincing myself that there wasn't a light or a place for a light to go, I finally saw something on the internet, and there's no doubt about it. Oops. Ooh. Oh, my furnace is switching on there. So, I'm not going to bore you with the details of me disassembling it since I've done that twice already. I'll just get that done and we'll take a look and try to find out where this light is supposed to go. Okay, so I got the front of the radio off, and I'm going to disconnect a couple of wires here. Let's see. It's a red one at the front. Black one there. I can just remove this whole piece out of the way now. Now, the light is somewhere down inside here. How impossible did they make it? Oh yeah, no, here's the, it's the wire I put on. Good thing I did put a lot of slack in it. There we go. Something is holding it very tightly. I know what it is. These screws. Dropped a screw. Okay. Here she comes. How far out can this come? That would be the question of the day. Should be able to get it out quite a ways now. Something seems unhappy with coming any further, so maybe that's far enough. Maybe that's far enough. Let's take a look here. Can't see through this plate at all. It's on the bottom. And looking down from the top, see a thing. It looks like a light. Okay, I got it out. Wow. Okay, now the light. Wow. Okay. So I think I know where the light is. Now, these two blue wires here are the lead wires that go to the light that we're after. You can see them disappearing up into there. Oh, that's a great view. Actually able to slide my camera right up inside the machine. So now somehow we got to get in there. And getting that to separate. Doesn't look very pretty to me. Wow. Trying to see if there's a screwdriver hole through the board to access certain screws. No, there isn't. Holy smokes. Well, I'd better study this for a little bit. It's really not particularly obvious to me here. What would happen if I took this plate off? I could have a lot of trouble reattaching it. I don't think that's the idea. I think this whole piece should come off. Or do I really need to take the other light out? I can just leave it there, can't I? And put the new light in somewhere where it has the same effect. Great idea. Is there such a place? Could you be that lucky? And I think this light is supposed to light up not just this drum, but also light up another piece. So just like the other light was lighting two things, and it used a shell to control the light and conduct it. Probably the same thing in this case. It's probably important to get that light right back where it's supposed to be. So this guy's got to come off. Oh. Okay, so what exactly am I talking about? Coming off what? Comes off what? Not gonna happen. Man alive, this is not a friendly situation here at all. Yeah, I gotta see if I can find some resources on this before I make a big boo-boo. Well, I've continued to get a little bolder here at trying to get access to where the light is inside this radio. And off camera, I have patiently and slowly worked this top board loose. Now, the reason I turned the camera on just now is because I think this is about to lift right off. So I didn't want to carry on any further without letting you see this. Now the big deal was I loosened a screw that's right in the middle of this board, right here. And then I released some clips. There's a lot of edge clips clipping the board down, and began flexing the board up, and looking at where the board is not flexing. And I released, I believe, all the clips. There's not that many. There's one here, a couple here, a couple on the side here. And as I was flexing it upwards and starting to think maybe that's all I need is just to get it up an inch or so and I can work under there, there was a nice big pop and the whole thing came quite loose. So I'm pretty sure I released another clip I hadn't found yet, and that's where I am. So let's turn this around now. I think I'm going to be working from the front here. I just hope I'm not introducing more trouble into this. So here we go. Up she goes. There's the light. Bingo. We're in business. We are in business. Excellent. Here, let me take a look and see. There's the light right there. Excellent. So I should be able to work like this. I don't have to take this any further apart. I can use the camera here to support the piece. Excellent. A little round of applause there. Hopefully that popping sound was not something breaking. It was just another snap releasing. And I can certainly get at this light now after I spent a lot of time off camera fiddling with this thing. Yeah. How does the light come out of that little fixture? It looks like it drops down, but let's see here. Oh my gosh. Nothing's going to happen easily here. How was that in there? Is it glued in or something? Jeepers creepers. Something breaking there. How the heck is that in there? The bulb's not even moving. Oh boy. Grinding something out. It sure looks like it's just pushed up into it. Do I have to take this out? Can I put another light bulb in and leave it there? It doesn't look like it. It looks like I've got to get the light bulb in because I think this piece here is conveying the light. So I really need to get this bulb into this fixture here. Now, do I really care about that bulb? No, I don't. I'm going to replace it, so whatever happens to that bulb doesn't matter. It's this fixture that I'm very worried about here. There we go. Now the bulb's loose. Shouldn't it just drop out? Maybe I had to push it in further in order to get the if I can get the bulb coming out the bottom here, kind of push the wires in. Really care what happens to this light bulb. Oh, it's coming out. Come on, little light bulb. What's holding it? Why won't it come through here? Because the wires have been fed up through there. Is there no gap here? Feels like glue or something's been put in there. Probably what is breaking out. Maybe I like to glue it to make sure the light doesn't drop out after I get it in there. Okay, so here's what I can do. I can just cut the wires. Just cut them here. Pull the light out. There it is. The bad actor light. And let's just take a close look at it, make sure it is. Yeah, you can see the element is burned out. Very, very good. I think I'm going to have success as long as I don't forget how to put this thing back together. Now, I have to work with these wires up in here. It's going to be a little awkward. It's going to be very awkward. Now, can we improve that situation at all? I'd have to release the wires from where they're glued in place at the back there, and I think there might be a better way to do this. I think if I could prop up the radio even higher. Yeah, that's a little better. Okay. There we go. Well, I'm feeling pretty hopeful now. Very hopeful. Very awkward to work on them in here still. There we go. That's good. Excellent. Those came off easy. Even that can be a bit of a hassle, just trimming the wires. You can end up cutting the wire and then shortening it and shortening it. And next thing you know, you've shortened it to the point where you can't even work on it. Now, these don't have to be very long. The excess wire will probably just be a hassle in there, so I'm going to cut this. Get this done and I can go eat lunch. How about that? There's my motivator. Oh, better turn on the soldering iron. I feel some soldering coming on. There we go. Not bad. Okay, now, getting trickier. We'll need to put some shrink tubing on this for sure. use some blue shrink tubing. So I got a bit of a snowstorm predicted for later today, this evening in fact. And I'm living right on the edge of the storm zone. So I might get 2 centimeters of snow, or I might get 15 centimeters of snow, basically overnight tonight. And that'll be the first snowfall of any significance. There's been a little bit of snow, but nothing to write home about, or nothing to bring up in your YouTube video. That's I guess that's the modern way of saying that. Now, should I tin these wires first? You know what? That might be a good idea, considering it's going to be tricky to solder in here. Yeah, see if my soldering iron's hot enough yet. Seems to be the case. Doesn't take a lot of heat to raise the temperature of these wires. And again, you're probably seeing this better than I'm seeing it. Okay, now we'll make a little loop. Kind of pinch that down. There's a lot of exposed wire here. Okay, well that's going to be that'll be a very good connection, that one. Swoosh. Okie dokie. Now the other guy. Come on. That'll solder up nicely. Good show. Trim off a little excess here.
This one might be a little harder to get the shrink tubing over. Trim off a little bit of it. A little piece hit the ceiling over my head when I snipped it. See if I can just pinch this down a little more. Flat surface pliers are not any good at times. There we go. Okay, slide down the tubing. One. Where'd the other one go? Oh, slew that right over. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Mumble, mumble, mumble. You can't see anything anyway because my hand's in the way while I perform the magic here. There we are. There we go. That's ready for the shrink up. Now, the great thing would be to turn this radio on and see if that light comes on. That would be a great thing to do. Do we dare try that with it in this condition? Okay, number 2. What are the chances that that light is not going to work? Like a fool, I didn't test it before I put it in. So the assumption is it's nice and new out of the box. It should be perfectly good. It's probably a pretty good assumption. So I'm thinking, no, we're going to put this thing back together. Oh yeah, how am I going to get that in there now? Huh. It's a bigger light. It's a bigger light. And I think there's still some kind of glue or crud in there. Maybe I can pick some of that out. As I find my my tool here. So I suppose we could say, okay, there's a fair size opening in here. Can't I get the whole light into that opening? Pretty close. If I shove it in and don't bother shoving it all the way up. We don't know the clearance between here and the bottom. Looks like it's fairly central though. Looks like it shows up central in here. So I can probably afford to leave some of this hanging out if I want. So that would be one way. You just shove it up like that. Maybe the further up I shove it, the more strain I put on this plastic part, the more likely it is to crack. And if it cracks, I think it won't conduct light the way it's intended. And also, there's some gunk right here, I think. Yeah, it doesn't feel too bad. So this open area for the bulb to go in is not so open with this glue in here. You can also bring it in from the other side, because I think it's identical. Hey, let's just try that. Let's just take a look at that. Wires go in easy enough. itself is a little long. It's basically too big for this job. Yeah, there's another stupid thing I didn't do. I should have checked the bulb for size. What did I do with the other one? When I took out. I do have some smaller bulbs, but they're really small. Okay, another way is just to shove it straight up this way. Ooh, what was that? I like it. Flip it over. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's just it right there. Well, let's see what happens if we try to put it back together. Now this will be tricky because we can't see what's going on down inside that opening. This is as ugly to put together as it was to take apart. Man alive. There it goes. Hey, that's it. It's in there. Ha! Small round of applause. And now might be a good time to stop for lunch. The next phase is just one continuous reassemble. And as early on as possible, we will test it, which is maybe, maybe that can be done right now. Let's just take a look. What have I got? I got some wires pulled out. That's just the light, switch, and the speaker. So you know what? I don't think we need those in to operate it. Just get these speaker wires out here where they're not shorted. Are we stupid to test this? Are we just generally stupid? Yes, I'm generally stupid, so... But in that case, that might be an encouragement. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to reassemble it a little further, I think, before I test it. It's really a question of clipping this thing down, putting the screw back in, all that. Now I know how to take it apart anyway. Yeah, let's stop for a little bit of lunch here. Because right now I'm feeling good. I should stop for a while. I can enjoy the good feeling before I continue and discover that I've boobed it up somehow and lose that good feeling. So I'm gonna go enjoy it, maybe with a sandwich. See you. Okay, after an awful lot of effort to reassemble this radio, much more effort than went into changing the light bulb in there, believe it or not. All of it off camera because I thought it would take 5 minutes. But I spent an hour reassembling this, and a good deal of that hour was fishing one screw out that I had dropped right inside of the dial here. Man alive. And another thing that took me forever was I had removed a bracket that held the hinges, one of the hinges for this door here, the hinge over here. Didn't realize what it was when I took it off. And only when I put the radio back together with the hinge still outside the radio, then I discovered that this was falling off. This upper piece here. Putting that hinge back in took an enormous amount of time. So as usual, it's the simplest of things that take all the time. Well, you know what? It's not quite that simple, is it? Because sometimes it's. Let's just say when you do this kind of work, and you think you're going to spend the time on the tough stuff, and all the simple stuff will be easy. It's really kind of all of it is difficult. Maybe that's the best way to look at it. So let's see what this looks like now with these lights. I got to darken down my room here. Okay, so I've now realized, of course, you've probably realized it too from watching my videos, that when I turn the light down, what the camera does to work in such low light is it just opens up the, it lengthens each frame that it shoots, so it collects more light. That's why you see my hand looks fuzzy and kind of floating around here. So it's rather difficult to make it dark with this camera. So, but here's the lights. Anyway, here we go. There it is. Look at that. Looks great on camera. So now this is lit, this is lit, this is lit, and this, it gets a little bit of light on it too. So what a major effort. Oh, here's what it.
After all, I am the Little Mermaid.
Just to convince you it's working. It's good to go now. An awful lot of effort. So maybe I know now where this radio has earned its reputation for being difficult to work on. You know, because of the stupid things that happened, I certainly had a difficult time with this radio. I basically disassembled it and reassembled it four times. A lot of that was my fault for not completing all the work each time. But I wouldn't be afraid to work on another one of these if it came my way. They're really good radios, so they deserve the effort. So there it is, all done, and sounding good, looking good, and working good. So thanks for watching all these videos that I've done on it, and we'll see you later.